What if there was something like Bitcoin, but it was faster, cheaper, and could handle more transactions per second? Well, there are actually quite a few cryptocurrencies that have attempted this, but today's video is on one called Litecoin. Welcome to Whiteboard Crypto, the #1 YouTube channel for crypto education, and here we explain topics of the cryptocurrency world using analogies, stories, and examples so that you can easily understand them. In this video, we are going to explain what Litecoin is and how it works. First off, Litecoin is meant to be sound money that people use for everyday payments, where most people think that Bitcoin is meant to be a long-term store of value. For example, some people say that Litecoin should be like cash, where we use it every day. But Bitcoin is like that gold that's locked up in your grandpa's safe. Something rare that is kept safe and only used for important purposes as it grows in value. Before we get into the technicalities of Litecoin, let's learn about the creator. Charlie Lee has enjoyed poker for a very long time. Understanding the technicals of how it worked and having quite an education, he landed himself a job as a software engineer at Google. Later on, he would become an engineering manager and then an engineering director of Coinbase from 2015 to 2017, so he already has a notable background. He initially created Litecoin to be a faster, cheaper, and more decentralized version of Bitcoin. We're going to skip a lot of the basic stuff like how proof of work works and what private and public keys are and get straight into what makes Litecoin different. But if anything confuses you, drop a comment below or check out some of the other videos on our channel as we might have already covered it. Let's go over how Litecoin actually achieves their faster speed, cheaper transactions, and better decentralization. First, Bitcoin has a block time of 10 minutes, meaning that all transactions are collected and then grouped together and put into a block in 10-minute sections. The next block has to wait 10 minutes until it is added to the blockchain. Litecoin cuts this down to 2.5 minutes, making it 4 times faster. Another area where Litecoin shines is how many transactions per second the network can handle. Bitcoin can only do around 5 transactions per second, roughly costing around $2 per transaction, but sometimes goes up to $10. Litecoin made some easy improvements and can actually process 54 transactions per second, and the cost of each transaction is down to a single penny or two. Next up, Litecoin is open source, just like Bitcoin. And open source means that anyone can take a look at the code that runs the network and make suggestions to it if they want. If the suggestion is good enough and more than half of all the miners approve of it, the code suggestion will be accepted. We suggest that you hit that like button down there, and if we hit 5,000 likes, we'll create an explanation video on a coin that's similar to Litecoin called Bitcoin Cash. Another similarity that Litecoin has to Bitcoin is that it can be broken down into 8 decimal places, where 0.000000001 Litecoin is called a photon, while the same amount of Bitcoin is called a Satoshi. Moving on, something big about Litecoin is that they were actually the first network to adopt and use the Lightning Network. Now, the Lightning Network is a Layer 2 solution that allows users to make transactions in seconds, almost for free, and making payments much simpler. If you want to learn more about this Layer 2 scaling solution, we actually have a whole video on the Lightning Network, and we'll leave it in a link below. One of the largest changes to Litecoin is the hashing algorithm that it uses. The hashing algorithm is actually the specific problem that the computer is trying to solve whenever they mine blocks. Oh, and by the way, Litecoin is a proof-of-work cryptocurrency, which basically means miners use their computing power to work really hard to guess the solution of the next block. Anyways, when Litecoin was created, miners on the Bitcoin network realized they could create special hardware to mine Bitcoins much faster. This advanced and specific hardware gave them an advantage because the hardware, called an ASIC, was very expensive, but is also much more efficient than a personal computer at solving the Bitcoin problem. Charlie Lee wanted to use a new hashing algorithm that evened the playing field again, so that miners could again competitively use their personal computers to participate and add blocks to the network. He decided on the script hashing algorithm. This meant that the blockchain was technically more decentralized, letting ordinary people with any old computer join the network and attempt to win some Litecoin as a reward for mining. Now, long story short, people quickly realized that they could create ASICs specifically to solve the script hashing algorithm as well. And now, it is not very profitable to mine Litecoin with your computer. Interestingly though, you can do something called merge mining now. Merge mining is a technical term where you actually mine 2 cryptocurrencies with the same hardware, without using any extra electricity. The second most popular cryptocurrency that uses the script hashing algorithm is Dogecoin, meaning most people mining Litecoin are also mining and earning Dogecoin as well. Also, the Litecoin Foundation is overwhelmingly operated by volunteers who support the project. Because of this, and the fair launch that we're going to mention soon, you won't see any expensive marketing budgets for Litecoin. If you've heard about it, it's because people in the community are passionate about it. Next up, let's talk about Litecoin's tokenomics. In my opinion, one of the best things about Litecoin is their tokenomics. Litecoin did no pre-launch or pre-mine or ICO. Instead, they launched very fairly, basically saying, everyone can start mining Litecoin on this date. This way, miners were the ones who actually got the first batches of Litecoins. This is the exact way that Satoshi launched Bitcoin when it started. The bad news though, is that Charlie sold all of his Litecoin during the peak of one of the bull runs. He claims that he did it to see how much of an influence he actually had over Litecoin, but many other investors are upset that he would dump all of his coins on the market at once and without any other good reason. Nevertheless, he still works on improving the protocol. Also, there will only ever be 84 million Litecoins ever created, exactly 4 times that of Bitcoin. Litecoin also follows the same 4-year halving schedule, where the mining rewards are cut in half every 4 years. And since all the transactions are public, we can actually check individual wallets and see that there aren't very many whale wallets, as most of the largest ones are known exchange companies. In terms of price, overall, Litecoin has pretty much followed the price of Bitcoin closely, as it's very close to being the same thing with some minor differences that include different use cases. So it's going to be interesting to see where Litecoin will be in 10 years with the development of many new Layer 2 solutions. I think that about wraps it up for Litecoin. There's not very many differences between it and Bitcoin, so if you're confused about some of the things that I mentioned in this video, hit that subscribe button, because the big bad old Bitcoin video will be uploaded soon, and it's going to be a long one. Subscribing also helps our channel grow and reward our hard work, so thanks if you're already subscribed. Oh, and as we end this video, you should know that we started a newsletter of weekly crypto updates, including a free DeFi for Beginners guide that has helped a ton of people already. If you're interested in that guide or the weekly newsletter, or even updates to our future projects, you can check out whiteboardcrypto.com. We also have a bunch of articles and art and tools there as well. Anyways, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. We really hope that you've learned something, and most of all, we hope to see you in our next video.